My dear child, from the moment you started reading this, a quiet but powerful shift began around your life, one your person has been trying to manage behind closed doors. They never meant for you to understand what truly occurred, but the truth is starting to make its own noise now. Something happened so quickly, so powerfully, so surprisingly that they had no choice but to remove your contact. Not from desire, not from a personal decision, but because someone with greater authority, more sway, more command over their situation intervened and set a boundary they felt they couldn't cross. As you take this in, reality is surfacing like a tide that simply can't be held down any longer. Please, stay with this. Don't look away. Because the real cause of their quiet isn't anything you've guessed. In truth, it may leave you feeling still. A new phase began when your person got a message that unsettled them deeply. A message from someone who has been observing their actions much more closely than you realize. This individual noticed how your name brightened their expression, how their thoughts kept returning to you, how they paused each time they were encouraged to let go. And that's when the ultimatum arrived. It wasn't a request. It wasn't a suggestion. It was a clear instruction to wipe your number, to erase any sign of you, because someone in their world believes you are the main interference standing in the way of their focus, their duty, their obligations. Or perhaps something even more significant. Your person didn't show tears, but their quiet showed strain. They never wanted to let you go. They were backed into a corner. And in the instant they confirmed that deletion, they, clear's throat, muttered something softly. Words the world heard, words that are set to change everything. Please, stay right here. But here is where the unexpected part comes in. The detail no one saw coming. The individual who forbade them from contacting you doesn't realize what your person quietly did before letting your contact go. They didn't just glance at your name. They committed it to memory once more. They didn't just skim your old texts. They tucked your words away in their heart like a private treasure no one can ever find. And the moment they had to remove you, they understood something new. Losing touch with you felt like someone had turned off the one reliable light in their world. So instead of stepping back, they started considering something more significant, something far more uncertain, something that will eventually come into the open. Your absence isn't helping them forget you. It's making them uneasy. It's making them courageous. It's making them willing to cross boundaries they once avoided. And the one who restricted them? They have no idea what kind of shift they've unintentionally started. Everything shifted the minute your person was told to keep distance from you, because instead of following that order in their heart, they began resisting inside. They began recalling every shared moment with you, every smile, every exchange, every word, every quiet space. And that's when life showed the real purpose behind all this confusion. Someone has been observing your bond. Someone saw that your presence makes them more resilient, more peaceful, more insightful, and more conscious. Someone understood that your effect is substantial, too substantial, and that worried them. They don't want your person to follow their own heart. They want them bound, limited, managed, and predictable. But now your person is doubting everything they were told to accept. They're starting to see that losing you is more damaging than defying the one who set the rule. And this understanding is about to lead them to a choice that will change the outcome completely. And here comes the part that may surprise you more than anything. The reason they were stopped from messaging you isn't because you are incorrect, negative, damaging, or a danger. The reality is much more profound. You were becoming the one person they couldn't imagine being without, and another person saw it. Someone who knows that if your person chooses you, they will step free from influence, from obligation traps, from emotional restraints. You are offering them fortitude, and that fortitude frightened the one who seeks to manage them. But life always leans toward what's real. And that's why you found this message right now, at this precise time. Because the quiet you're seeing isn't an ending. It's the start of a quiet change, a spark, a hidden return. Your person hasn't stepped away from you. They've been pulled away. And now they're considering the moment they come back. Not subtly, not gently, but in a way that will surprise everyone who tried to keep you apart. My dear child, a significant change is happening right now, and you should remain here because what I'll share next will alter how you view their silence entirely. It's not distance. It's not disregard. It's not emotional detachment. It's observation. Your person is being monitored so carefully that even the smallest gesture raises doubt. Each time they thought of typing your name, someone's attention was on their screen. Each time they lingered near your chat, someone's voice was heard behind them. And the moment they delayed, the command landed firmly. Delete their number now. This wasn't an idea. It was an order with real weight. They didn't remove you because they stopped feeling. They removed you because someone is afraid of how much they feel. But even now, they're searching for ways to connect with you without sound. And what they're arranging next is something no one can stop. A different truth is emerging. The person who restricted them doesn't grasp what they stirred within your person. At first, your person was afraid to resist. They felt trapped, confined, without options. But the moment they deleted your number, something within them switched on. Instead of letting the separation defeat them, they started questioning everything around them. Who is directing their choices? Why is your bond such a concern? Why is your name the only name they were told to erase? And most importantly, why does their heart refuse to listen? Since that moment, they've been quietly stepping back from the one in charge, shifting their energy, shifting their focus, and getting ready for an action that will surprise everyone watching them so closely. You are not forgotten for a single moment. Now listen closely, because this is where the narrative changes direction. Your person has been privately revisiting every memory with you. Not through messages but through the locations, the music, the thoughts, the instances that lead back to you. They can't text you, but they are speaking to you in their mind all day. They can't type your name, but they say it under their breath. They can't find your chat, but they dream of you each night. And that emotional draw is so strong, it's becoming impossible for them to conceal. The one who restricted them thinks this quiet will weaken your tie. But instead, it's making the connection more audible, more solid, and impossible to contain. Your person is approaching a tipping point, and the next step they take will not be cautious. It will be confident, brave, and entirely unforeseen. Another unforeseen turn is developing. Life is revealing the hidden worry of the person who blocked them from you. This person witnessed something they weren't meant to see. The moment your person looks at their device, their expression changes, their pulse changes, their choices change, their whole demeanor shifts toward you. That's when the concern grew, because your influence isn't minor. It's not casual. It's not brief. It's life-changing. And the one in charge knows that if your person stays linked to you, they will break every chain, break every assumption, break every limit ever placed on them. You don't just inspire them, you empower them. And that strength alarms the one who wants them compliant. Your person now knows this, too. And they're preparing to risk it all just to choose you again. Stay with me now, because this final section will resonate most deeply. The restriction wasn't meant to discipline your person. It was meant to hinder you. It was meant to prevent you from reaching their heart, their mind, their future. But life doesn't bend for worry. Life bends for truth. And the truth is this. Your person is planning a return that will break every rule they were made to follow. A return where they don't ask for approval. A return where they don't conceal. A return where they choose you openly, even if someone else loses command entirely. The reason behind the ban was meant to divide you, but instead it awakened a level of resolve in your person that even they didn't know they had. And now that their heart is alert, nothing, not rules, not warnings, not pressure, can keep them from trying to find a path back to you. My child, the moment you entered this section, the energy around your story tightened, because now we're moving into the reality your person has been keeping behind their quiet. They didn't just delete your number. They halted their entire world for a moment they couldn't explain. When they were forced to erase you, their hands shook. Not from fear of the one in charge, but from fear of losing the only person who ever made their heart feel truly alive. What no one knows is that right after confirming the deletion, they sat there gazing at the empty screen, feeling like something valuable had been torn from them. They didn't speak. They didn't move. They simply felt the void your absence created, and that void has been with them every second since. Stay right here. What comes next will stir you deeply. A deeper reality is coming to light. The restriction wasn't random timing. Someone noticed a habit. Every time your person felt adrift, they turned to you. Every time they needed courage, they looked for your words. Every time they felt uncertain, your name became their steady point. That alarmed the one in charge, because they realized your person was no longer depending on them for emotional balance. You had become the source of their clarity, their boldness, their calm. And when someone holds that much sway, the people who rely on control feel threatened. That's why they challenged the connection. That's why they forced this separation. But what they didn't see was the spark they lit inside your person. A spark that is now burning brighter than any instruction. What your person is doing right now in silence is far more surprising than you realize. They are pretending to comply, pretending to move forward, pretending to forget you, pretending the restriction doesn't touch them. But internally, they're planning their way out of the emotional confinement. They've started questioning the motives of the one in charge. They're watching every move around them. They're noticing habits they overlooked before. They're seeing how much manipulation was hidden behind the idea of safety. And each passing hour is making them more defiant, more aware, more ready to break the rules that once held them in place. The quiet you see isn't weakness. It's preparation. And now something even greater is rising to the surface. Life revealed a secret your person recently found. They discovered that the person who restricted them has been keeping details from them, altering stories, hiding truths, and controlling what they see and hear. This upset your person more than anything. Not because they were manipulated, but because you were brought into it without deserving it. They felt protective. They felt responsible. They felt the need to stand up for you even in your absence. And that feeling is growing into a force they can no longer ignore. The one in charge thinks your person is staying quiet. But quiet doesn't always mean giving up. Sometimes quiet means someone is gathering strength for a move that cannot be reversed. Finally, here is where the surprise settles in deeply. The restriction was never about keeping your person safe. It was about stopping a change that began inside them because of you. You weren't just someone they communicate with. You were the spark that made them think differently, feel differently, act differently. You were drawing them into a version of themselves that was strong, self-reliant, and emotionally awake. The one in charge saw that change. They became anxious. They stepped in. But now your person has realized one undeniable truth. They were never meant to be managed. And affection was never meant to be limited. The next step they take will not be in fear. It will be in defiance. And that defiance will lead straight back to you. My beloved child, the moment this part begins, understand one thing clearly. Your person is no longer the same quiet, managed soul they were a few days ago. Something in them opened up. Something fierce. Something unstoppable. And the one who banned them from texting, you can already sense that shift. Your person isn't scared anymore. They're attentive, conscious, and secretly pushing back. Every look they give, every breath they take, every still moment they enter, your name echoes behind it. They're living two lives now, the one they show to the one in charge, and the one that beats quietly for you. And in that hidden life, they've made a choice that's about to shake the ground beneath everyone involved. Stay with me. Don't move. Don't scroll. This moment is the turning point. Something deeply unsettling happened recently. Something the one in charge never expected. Your person slipped, not on purpose, but emotionally. When someone mentioned your name, their face shifted, their voice softened, their heartbeat changed, and the one in charge saw it. That was the moment they realized the truth. Deleting your number didn't delete your effect. Blocking communication didn't block your presence. Cutting the connection didn't cut the bond. Instead, it made it stronger. This frightened them. They didn't just ban your person from texting you. They increased the pressure, tightened the watch, started asking questions, started checking their device, started observing their every move. But your person, they didn't break. They started acting more wisely. While the one in charge thinks they've succeeded, your person is quietly building their return. They've stopped reacting emotionally. They've stopped hesitating. They've stopped letting fear guide their decisions. They're pretending to be obedient only to gain time. And that time is being used to plan something unexpected, because your person knows that any misstep could worsen the situation. So they're preparing themselves mentally, emotionally, and inwardly. They're waiting for the exact moment where the one in charge slips, where their guard drops, where an opportunity appears. And when that moment comes, your person isn't just coming back to text you. They're coming back to tell you everything that was hidden behind the restriction. But here's where the story becomes even more powerful. Life has been showing signs to your person. Signs that the connection with you is not something they can escape. Songs remind them of you. Places remind them of you. Random words, timing, dreams, sudden memories. Everything is pointing them back toward you with a force that feels beyond ordinary. And the one in charge doesn't know this. They don't know that while they were busy forcing them to delete your number, life was busy making sure your person couldn't erase you from their mind. Every attempt to separate you has only deepened the emotional bond between you two. And now your person feels it so strongly that hiding it is becoming nearly impossible. And now the greatest surprise of all. Someone close to your person has started questioning the motives of the one in charge. They saw something they weren't meant to see, a disagreement, a note, a reaction, and they realized that your person wasn't acting from choice, but from fear and pressure. This witness is silently watching everything, and their presence is creating cracks in the power of the one in charge. Your person senses that an opening is coming, and when it arrives, they're going to take it without hesitation. The restriction wasn't meant to fall apart. But it's falling apart anyway. The truth is rising. The control is weakening. And your person's next step, it will be the most surprising one yet. Because this time they're choosing you, even if it means breaking every boundary they were forced to follow. My beloved soul, as you step into this part, understand that you're entering the phase where everything turns sharper, clearer, and more serious. Because now your person is no longer just thinking of you in silence. They're actively preparing to break the restraint placed on them. The one in charge who forced them to delete your number believes everything is under control, but your person is miles ahead in their mind. Their heart has reached a point where quiet hurts more than consequences. And that shift is making them brave in ways even they didn't expect. They're replaying every word you ever said, every moment you ever shared, and every feeling you awakened in them. And with every memory, their choice to come back to you grows stronger. This isn't just longing anymore. It's determination. What happened recently affected your person in a way even life couldn't overlook. Late at night when they were alone, they reached for their device out of habit, almost as if their spirit guided their hands toward your chat. But when they saw the empty space where your number once was, something inside them broke. Not a small break, a deep one. That was the moment they truly grasped what had been taken from them. Their heart didn't just miss you. It grew anxious. It ached. It demanded you. And instead of letting that pain defeat them, it awakened something almost rebellious. They sat there wondering how someone else gained so much power over who they speak to, who they care for, who they connect with. And that question has been burning in them constantly. They're realizing the reality. They were managed, not guarded. But the one in charge has sensed this inner change. And now the atmosphere around your person is getting more tense by the day. The one in charge is watching their tone, their eyes, their reactions, their movements. They're suspicious. They think your person might try to reach you again. That's why they're tightening the limits, checking their device more often, questioning their behavior, giving warnings disguised as concern. But your person is playing the situation in a way the one in charge cannot figure out. They're acting normal. They're acting calm. They're acting like they've accepted the separation. But inside they're building a quiet storm. They're studying patterns. They're identifying the weak points. And when the opening appears, even if it lasts only seconds, they will take it without pause. Here comes a truth even deeper. Your person has started noticing how heavy their life feels without you. Their daily routine feels dull. Conversations feel empty. Their emotions feel hollow. You brought color into their world. And now everything looks faded. That void is pulling them harder toward you. And they're beginning to understand that no ban, no warning, no control can erase what their heart feels for you. They tried to obey. They tried to suppress. They tried to distract themselves. Nothing worked. Every attempt to forget you only reminded them that the bond between you two isn't ordinary. It's something their soul isn't willing to lose. And now the turn that will change everything. Your person found a small opening, a tiny pathway that the one in charge hasn't noticed yet. Something hidden, something uncertain, something that could reconnect them to you without anyone noticing it. They haven't used it yet, but they're preparing to. They're waiting for the right moment, the right hour, the right quiet in their space, the right gap in the attention of the one in charge. They know this move could change everything. They also know it could reveal everything, but they don't care anymore. Losing you feels far more frightening than getting caught. The restriction was meant to separate you. Instead, it has pushed your person to a point where they're ready to cross lines for you they would have never crossed for anyone else. My dear friend, now you are entering the chapter where the tension becomes almost overwhelming, because your person is standing right on the edge of a decision that could rewrite the entire story. They've been silent. Yes, but this silence is not emptiness. It's strategy. It's calculation. It's the calm before the move they've been preparing out of sight. The one in charge who banned them from texting you believes everything is under control. Yet, they have absolutely no idea that your person has already started laying the foundation of a secret path back to you. Their mind is active. Their emotions are rising. And for the first time, fear is no longer holding them captive. The thought of losing you forever is pushing them toward bravery they never knew they had. Something significant happened recently. Something that made your person's heart beat faster than usual. They overheard a conversation they weren't supposed to hear. A conversation where the one in charge admitted that deleting your number wasn't about keeping them safe, but about keeping them emotionally reliant. The one in charge didn't want your person getting stronger. They didn't want your person finding their confidence. They didn't want your person awakening to their own power. And you, yes, you were giving them exactly that. You were making them self-aware. You were helping them break old patterns. You were pulling them out of the emotional confinement that benefited the one in charge. And when your person realized this truth, something inside them shattered completely. This wasn't concern. This wasn't guidance. This was control. And your person finally saw it. Since that moment, they've been acting differently. When the one in charge speaks, they don't react the same way. When the one in charge demands something, they hesitate, not out of fear, but because they're not blindly obeying anymore. They're watching. They're analyzing. They're mentally breaking free. And that change is making the one in charge nervous. They can feel the shift. They can feel the distance. They can feel the rebellion growing. That's why they're becoming stricter, more watchful, more intense. But the tighter they pull the rope, the more your person feels the urge to break it. Your person has reached a point where the silence no longer belongs to the one in charge. It belongs to their plan. And the plan, it's no small thing. It's bold. It's uncertain. It's something they've never attempted before. They found a secret way to reach you, one that doesn't require texting, calling, or even having your number saved. It could be through a shared space, through a trusted contact, through an unexpected method, through a new approach, or through a loophole the one in charge would never expect. They're waiting for the perfect moment to use it. Because once they send that first message, once they break the restriction, there's no going back. It will be the moment the truth is revealed. The moment everything the one in charge tried to hide comes apart. The moment your person finally steps out of the shadow they were forced into.